Hello, and welcome back to Creative Differences. I'm Dallas, and I get sad when I finish rewatching old shows that I love.
I'm Colin, and I feel like the solution to that is find something new to watch to sort of get you involved in something else. But not maybe well, no, I don't know if that's good for you because then things get canceled.
Yeah, there's no solution. I just have to bask in my sadness, but I do distract myself with other shows.
And I'm Demi, and I apologize if my voice sounds different. I've been sick for the past 3 days. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Throwback Thursdays, Fancast Fridays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we are doing a movie review for Red Notice.
Red Notice. Also, if you're wondering where Gabby is, she thirsted over Oscar Isaac so hard that she went into a coma. So, thoughts and prayers to Gabby. Before we get into Red Notice, though, Colin, did you have something to say?
No, we can get to it later.
Okay, cool. Before we get into Red Notice, please like, please subscribe, please rate and review, and do all the things on all the different websites. Or, Netflix will cancel all your favorite things like they do me.
Wow.
No, there's no correlation, but I don't care. I'm bitter. All right, let's talk about Red Notice. Red Notice. It is written and directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, who is the man who wrote and directed Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, Central Intelligence, and Skyscraper. He clearly likes working with Dwayne Johnson, because who wouldn't? Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, this movie stars him, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and Ritu Arya.
Ritu!
Yes, Demi is a big fan of Ritu Arya.
That was a lovely surprise for me, I gotta be honest. When I saw her name pop up, I was like, oh my gosh, Ritu's in this movie.
Is
It's
she
funny
the
because
cop?
she is,
Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
she's the woman in the movie who's not Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
It's funny because I saw her name and I thought, oh man, Demi's gonna like that. But then I thought, knowing Demi, she already knows every movie that every actress that she likes is in. So I was like, this won't be a
No.
surprise for her.
I actually did not know she was in this movie. I just knew the top 3 build names.
Right.
So when I saw her name, I was like, "Oh, this movie gets bonus points."
Yes. It also stars Chris Dimatopoulos.
What?
The
You want to try
Greek
that one
dude.
again?
Yeah, Chris Diamantopoulos. That's what I said.
No, but okay.
Chris Demon Papadopoulos. Anyway, the the IMDb summary states an Interpol agent tracks the world's most wanted art thief. And you know what? This is the worst IMDb summary so far.
That is
Is it?
actually
Because it
really
is.
bad.
Because here's the thing.
Yes.
Here's the thing though. Either they're mistaken or they deliberately didn't mention Dwayne or Ryan in that summary. Because the Interpol agent is Ritu and the most wanted
Oh.
art thief is Gal. So your two main stars are not mentioned in your IMDb summary, or you just didn't pay enough attention to the movie to know which characters are which.
Or it is just blatantly written that way to misinform you.
Right? Like you're gonna lie to me? Like he's not an Interpol agent. They don't even say that he's an Interpol agent. He works
No,
at
they
FBI.
never do.
Or this FBI.
Yeah, they specifically say from the
They're just
beginning,
like, oh, he's chasing them over some
FBI
countries. He
special
must be
services
Interpol.
or whatever. Like,
It's very silly. IMDb, do better. But yeah, about the movie. Look, it's Ryan Reynolds, it's Dwayne Johnson, it's Gal Gadot. They got the cheat code for me liking the movie.
That is a cheat code. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because I was reading before the movie came out, a lot of reviews were like, "It's a dumb fun movie." And I watched it and I went, "Yeah, that's a dumb fun movie. I had a great time."
Yeah, I had so much fun. And it's another odd couple buddy comedy with Ryan Reynolds. I love
And Dwayne
those.
Johnson.
Right. And yeah, he does his share of those as well. I love his as well.
The movie is literally just like Dwayne The Rock Johnson doing what he does best, Ryan Reynolds doing what he does best, and Gal Gadot doing what she does best.
And doing it better than I think she's ever done. Because one of my notes and one of the things I was talking to Kayla about is I think Gal is getting better at acting with each movie I see her in.
She's definitely getting better.
Yeah, and I feel like part of that is this character allows her to do more. She's more charismatic. She gets to joke around a bit. As much as we love Wonder Woman as a character, she's kind of the big stoic warrior who she has her other side to her, but a lot of it is I like to fight with swords.
Well, she has a really good comedic side, I would say.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody else saw that movie. Insert movie name here. 1 second.
Is it Keeping Up with the Joneses?
Yes, where she was John Hamm's wife. Yeah, she's pretty funny in that movie. She's got
Yeah,
a good comedic side.
she does. She does.
But yeah, she's action girl, and she's very good at action girl, and she does it well in this movie as well. There is a scene though that made me go, I would love to see Gal play more uh psychotic or crazy characters.
Interesting.
and I can't say what happens in that scene, but there is a moment where her character is, you know, slightly on the more insane side with her acting, and I was just like, "Ah, yes,
Mm.
I would like to see Gal do a lot more of
Oh,
this."
I think I know what you're talking about. That was fun.
Yeah.
But, the movie actually does have more unexpected twists and turns than I expected, but like I said, like, this movie coulda just been Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson roasting each other for 2 hours in a room, and I'd still love it because that's what I came for.
Yeah. Also, it's an adventure movie. It's a globetrotting kind of adventure
Mhm.
movie, so it's got kinda like that Indiana Jones vibe at times,
Right.
but, dumber apparently. Uh, no, it's just a lot of fun. We're traveling the globe, we're hunting for a treasured object, and yeah, like you said, it's Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson roasting each other for 2 hours straight and Gal Gadot outwitting them at every step,
Yeah.
and I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. As with any Ryan Reynolds movie that I watch, the jokes are gonna come a mile a minute, and not all of them hit, but there are so many that most of them hit for me. I laughed out loud several times. And it's funny you brought up the globetrotting thing because, of course, they end up in a jungle, and Kayla and I just looked at each other and laughed, and I was like, "Man, Dwayne Johnson gonna find his way into a jungle." Like,
Yo,
I did not expect this movie to end up in a jungle, but of course, here we are. Dwayne Johnson gotta be in the jungle.
a jungle and a jail.
Jungle in the jail, yeah, jail's popping up in this stuff more now, but, like, man, he loves his jungle like Denzel Washington loves
Gotta
guarantees.
have a jailbreak.
True. But, yeah, Ryan Reynolds, his character is just Ryan Reynolds as an art thief, so I love him. Dwayne Johnson is just Dwayne Johnson as a federal agent, so I love him. And Gal Gadot is a hot art thief, so I love her too. Like,
And the best in the game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not anything. It's not anything too deep or
Ain't
too
nothing too deep
introspective.
in this
It's
movie.
just a fun time. I was surprisingly impressed by some of the action scenes. Like, I don't say surprisingly to be dismissive, but I was going in more for comedy than action.
Mm.
And obviously, this movie is a comedy, but they did some more impressive action stuff than I expected. I thought it was just going to be some jokes and jumping off some stuff.
Yeah, I actually really liked the cinematography at certain points, especially, like, the opening action sequence, I guess. I liked how flowy the camera movement was.
Oh, wait, in that first, like when the first chase
Yeah,
scene?
at the art museum.
Yeah. And it's funny as they were chasing, or as he was chasing Ryan through, I looked at Kayla and I said, this is probably the longest Ryan Reynolds has gone without speaking in a movie.
That's fair.
Because he was just running. And then, like, the camera would look at him. It's like, is he going to quit? He's going to quit? No, he's still running. Okay, cool. And then,
It's
of
like,
course,
Ryan hasn't cracked a joke yet. We're 5 minutes
right.
in.
Like, what's going on here? And then, he gets in his bag. But yeah, it's cool. It's silly. It's a nice little fun time. I definitely recommend it if you like Ryan Reynolds movies and or Dwayne Johnson movies or just attractive people.
It would've been fun to watch in a theater as well
Yeah.
because of the kinda like how big the movie is. I think this is Netflix's most expensive movie that they've ever made,
Oh wow. I didn't know
and
that.
you can kinda see it. It looks expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would've been nice to watch it on, like, a big screen because it looks really cool. It's very stylish.
I concur. I also really speaking of style, I like the location cards that they use.
Oh, okay.
Like the big red and like you can see kind of superimposed there's like the flags of the countries or like landscapes in the text. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Also, with the way that this movie ended, like, I wouldn't mind getting a sequel
Yo, I definitely want a sequel.
because this was a fun introduction, and, like, it would be cool to see how the dynamics continue after this movie is over.
Right, where it ended, I definitely got, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard vibes. I was
Nice.
and I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is gonna be fun." If they get to do it again, I would love that.
Also, like, yeah, let's get another movie with Wonder Woman, Black Adam, and Deadpool.
Right, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Also, this is a reunion for, Gal Gadot and, Dwayne Johnson. I forgot that they were both in, Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6 together.
That's true, and then Ryan Reynolds popped up in Hobbs& and Shaw, so they've all been somewhere adjacent to those movies.
Yep.
But yeah, not a lot to be said about this movie. It was fun, pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole lot it's just a fun action movie. If you're like, I feel like this is one of those movies you sit down, you put it on for 2 hours, you escape from reality, and you have a good time, and, it's not a regretful 2 hours. You'll have fun.
But then also, like, if this is not your bag, this is not your bag, so
Yeah, if you don't want an action adventure movie, then you probably don't wanna watch it.
and it was a nice distraction from the sadness I've been feeling about finishing the show I was rewatching.
Speaking of which,
Yes, what you doing? What you watching? Imma tell you, audience. Also, Colin did watch, like, part of Red Notice, but he didn't care, so
Yeah.
we didn't go to him. Okay, what I'm doing, what I'm watching. I just rewatched all of Samurai Jack, and I am feeling so many feelings right now. because it's a show from childhood. Obviously, it came out 20 years ago. It ran for 3 years, and then it stopped running, and then it came back in 2017 for season 5 on Adult Swim. And I didn't watch it a lot as a kid, but Kayla loved it. So we got the Blu-rays. She was like, "Let's watch it." I was like, "Bet, let's do it." It was created by Gendy Tartakovsky, who created Dexter's Lab, and he directed the first 3 Hotel Transylvania movies.
He also did the very well-beloved Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
Yes, that was my next note. He created
series.
he's created Star Wars Clone Wars, not to be confused with Star Wars:
Yes.
The
I
Clone Wars.
I always forget which
Oh,
one is the
no.
and which one is without the,
Yeah, his was Star Wars Clone Wars, and then the other one is Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
'cause I don't think his is technically canon? I'm never certain. I'm
Couldn't
never
tell you.
certain about that series as to whether or not it is canon or not. However, the entirety of it is on Disney Plus, and Star Wars fans love it.
Oh yeah, good stuff. It stars Phil Lamar and Mako, with frequent appearances from a bunch of actors: Kevin Michael Richardson, Tom Kenny, Grey Delisle Griffin, or Grey Griffin Delisle. I don't know which way her name goes.
I think
And
it's
Tara
Lyle
Strong.
Griffin.
I think so too. And Tara Strong, who gets a starring role in season 5, along with Greg Baldwin, because he came in to step in for Mako after Mako passed away. The IMDb summary is: a samurai sent through time fights to return home and save the world. That is what happens. So I already gave you the background. It ran from 2001 to 2004. I liked it, but never fully appreciated it because I was a stupid kid. And then 13 years later, it came back and it was amazing. And I was like, I got to rewatch the whole thing. This is going to be a little longer than the typical What You're Doing, What You're Watching. I'm going to try to run through my notes as fast as I can. And I did cut them down significantly. So, wait, have either of you guys watched this show? I know, Colin, we talked about it already, and you didn't really watch it.
I have watched the first 4 episodes since we talked about it, and like I might keep going. I don't know. I kept waiting for it to be like funny, and the first 4 episodes really aren't. So I was like, eh.
Is it? Yeah. Well, I'll get back to that. To me?
Yeah.
I have seen episodes from like when I was a kid
Okay, yeah.
because my cousin was a huge fan of Samurai Jack and he was like a teenager back then. So like he would watch it and I would occasionally catch episodes of it when he was watching it, but I've never like watched it all the way through. But I saw you tweet or something about the theme song and immediately the theme song came to my head because the theme song does slap.
It's so good. Oh man, shout out Will I Am. It's one of the best theme songs in our time, and I will not entertain any arguments to the contrary. It's funny you said that you had a cousin who watched it because that's how I was with Avatar. I didn't watch it as a kid. My cousin loved it, but by the time he told me about it, it was like halfway through season 1 or something. And that show was extremely serialized. Samurai Jack was a show that had an overarching narrative, but was very episodic. And that's one of the things I liked about it because in the early 2000s, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have DVR. There weren't a lot of ways to watch a show in order. And you know, when you're like 9, you just got to come home and hope you catch whatever show you like. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, maybe you missed an episode. But these stories all separate themselves. So each episode is pretty much its own contained story. You can come in wherever you want and just go from there. But yeah, it starts with Jack. Jack is not his name, by the way. We don't actually learn his name. But when he gets to the future, a bunch of hood nigga aliens or robots. Everybody turns out to be a robot in the show, but we'll get to that. They start calling him Jack as a slang term. They're like, "Hey, yo, Jack was killing it, man. Jack."
Wait, I just assumed that they somehow knew his name. That's not.
No, they don't know him.
I don't know.
He fell down from a portal in the sky and then just live in the future. Yeah, Jack was a slang term. So then later on, he's introduced to someone and he says, "They call me Jack." I don't know why he didn't give his real name, but you know, Samurai Jack is probably a catchier title than I'm not going to just say a random Japanese name that feels culturally insensitive. So the show starts, quote unquote, Jack. He's in Japan. Home gets attacked by Aku. He's sent off for his protection, and we get his little Batman training montage, which takes place over like across the world, which is really cool. We get to see him like axe throwing in Russia. He learns martial arts from monks in Asia. He learns archery training with Robin Hood somehow. Some wrestling in Greece. Super dope. And then, you know, he gets into the future because he's going to kill Aku. And Aku's like, no, nigga, no. So he gets into the future. And that's where it gets crazy because the world they built in Aku's future is so varied and vast that they can pretty much tell whatever story they want. There are episodes and scenes that look like everything from Blade Runner 2049, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Harder They Fall. Like, they'll do a space epic one episode, a Star Wars homage, they'll do a Western story, a horror movie, a film noir. There's an episode where he has a mech robot and there's like an anime mech battle. It's just there's something for everyone if you go far enough. Like you'll get to because like the beginning, it's more where he lands, and you get the kind of Denis Villeneuve esque like future world. But then he'll travel. He'll go to like jungles, like Dwayne Johnson, or any random place that you can think of. There's something for everybody. But that's the first 4 seasons. So season 5 is very different. It's a completely serialized story now. It's like we got his travels from season 4, and then season 5 takes place 50 years later. It came out on Adult Swim, not Cartoon Network. So it's kind of like the way Young Justice, when it went to HBO Max or DC Universe before that, wasn't really for kids anymore. It goes farther. Young Justice was like, this isn't for kids, but kids can kind of watch it. Samuel Jackson.
Samuel.
Samurai Jackson on Adult Swim was like, this is for the people who watched it when it really came out. So you guys are adults now. So we're going to really get into it. There are themes like suicide, brainwashing, survivor's remorse. There's a lot of blood because he's killing people with swords. One of the really clever things about the show is that he's a samurai. He's not really a samurai. He's more of a ronin, but that's not important. He has a sword. A lot of times when you're watching a kid's show, if a character has a sword, what are they going to do with it? That's what always bothered me about Ninja Turtles. I would watch Raphael and Leonardo. It's like, y'all ain't going to stab nobody. Y'all ain't built like that. Y'all ain't about that action. So why am I watching you guys use blades so you can like hit people with the back of them? Samurai Jack,
So they can clink them against other people's
right?
blades.
Like I don't
Isn't
care
that
about
it?
that. Wasting my time. But Samurai Jack was fighting 90% robots, and it's kind of
That's a good
like
excuse.
yeah, it's a little cheat. So you can dismember your enemies, you can decapitate them, you can impale them, you can do whatever you want because they're all robots. To the point where there are characters who don't look like robots, but then Jack slices them in half. I'm like, oh, okay, it was a robot. Good thing it was. But then season 5, we get a situation where he's being hunted by humans. And, he's doing what he do. He's been here for over 50 years. Everyone's a robot. I just go in slicing and dicing. It's like that Danny DeVito meme. So I started blasting, except
Yeah.
it's with the sword. So I started slicing. And he kills someone who turns out to be a human. He didn't realize he assumed she was a robot. They're always robots. But he is wrecked because he's such a good guy. Like Samurai Jack is such a great character. He's caring, he's selfless.
But see,
What's up?
here's the thing though.
What you got?
Is you were telling me about that whole episode about like the robot who has feelings and shit. So
Mhm.
it's like, are we not supposed to care about the robots? How do they feel about this?
Well, he's not killing like I think there's so many robots in the future that I'm kind of look at them like we look at people in shows now. Some people are bad, some people are good. Some robots in the show are bad, some are good. Like he's being hunted for most of the show. Aku runs everything and he's sending people after him. So Jack
Right.
isn't just like killing robots the way that they were killing droids in Solo.
Mm.
He's killing people who are trying to kill him. He's not a serial
Right.
killer.
But it's like that doesn't bother him. But then when he kills like a person, that bothers him, even though you've been killing people who, for all intents and purposes, are people with their own like wants and desires and shit. That didn't bother you because they were robots?
Yeah. But also,
That's weird as
it's
fuck.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Like if I've never killed a robot or a person. But
Okay, good. Love that.
yeah, that's a good start, right? But if I was getting attacked and I start bucking back and I hit someone, it turns out, oh, this was a robot. This was a being created to kill me. I'm not gonna feel as bad as if I shot like somebody's child in the face. To my child, I mean like they're not an actual child, like someone's child.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it hits different when you kill a person. I don't know, Colin. I've never killed anybody. I can't really speak to that. I'm sorry. I know that you have your whole robot thing. What did I talk about? Colin threw me off with the robot
I don't even know.
philosophy.
He kills a person and he like
Oh yeah, he feels bad.
feels
So
real bad about it.
yeah, one of the things I like about Jack is that this character could have easily been a what do they call him, a Gary Stew, the male Mary Sue.
Yeah, it's a Gary
Yes.
stew.
Right. This is weird. It doesn't whatever. It's
It's
like
not. Yeah.
like he's not invincible. There are episodes in which he's defeated. There are episodes in which he legitimately can't beat his enemy without like on his own power, so he needs help to do so. He's not above feelings of anger and frustration that feel really real, especially season 5. Dude has a straight up mental breakdown, and it is rough. Yeah, he's a great character. Aku is great. Mako was so dope. Obviously, Greg Baldwin is great as well. He does his thing. But Mako's performance, like his voice, the way he delivers his lines, Aku is at one moment a super formidable, like ominous being of darkness, and at the next moment he's hilarious. Like how I told you about the one where they're gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of my favorite moments. To me, I think you were here, but you weren't like talking to us. There's a moment when Aku and Samurai Jack decide, you know what, we're just gonna square up. We're gonna shoot. We're gonna run fades. So he's like, no sword, no magic powers. You come as a human, and I'm just gonna beat your ass. They're setting it up kind of like people in high school would set up a fight after school.
Oh Lord.
It reminds me a lot of West Side Story.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like they're like, all right, so what are we gonna do? It's like the war council. They're like, all right, so you can't bring your sword, fine. You can't use your power. Where are we gonna do it? And they're like, all right, on the hill in that place at that time. And he tells Jack this, and Jack is like, he has this look on his face, like he's trying to think of where that is. And he's like, yeah. And Aku was like, do you, do you know where that is? He's like, yeah, got it. And Aku was like, I can give you a ride if you need a ride.
What?
It's so silly. And that's the thing I love about this show is the range in tone and setting and visuals and everything. There are episodes that are completely somber and dark, explorations of feelings in cinema. And then there's this stuff. There's an episode where a wizard turns Jack into a chicken because he bumped into him. And then Jack has to be a chicken for that episode. It's very silly. But, Cartoon Network is going to give you that. But yeah, Aku's great. Mako's great. Rest in peace. Tara Strong plays most extras in the first 4 seasons, and then in season 5, she gets to play Ashi, who's like the female lead. And it's one of Tara's best performances. She has great character development. It's great to see Jack have a character stick with him through the season because he meets so many great characters, and then at the end, it's like, all right, peace. We're probably never going to see you again. And then some of them do recur, like the Scotsman. The Scotsman is probably Kayla's favorite character. He's played by John DiMaggio, and he's just this giant Scottish stereotype of a big redhead dude who wears a kilt and has a bagpipe and just screams at Jack in like Scottish insults. But they become friends because they're both dope, and he's just great. Also, shout out my nigga Scaramouche. Tom Kenny is great. He's this like annoying scatting robot in season 5. I don't know how to describe his character, but just know he's great. Before I finally get off this Samurai Jack train, I was talking about the visuals because honestly, that's one of the most impressive things about the show is that the backgrounds are so beautiful, the colors are so beautiful, the action sequences are extremely impressive, especially to have come out 20 years ago. They step it up in season 5 because they've had more time, things are more advanced, but they just do so many dope things. To me, one of the things I was telling Colin about is the episode where Samurai Jack fights a ninja because a ninja
Okay.
gets Aku was just sending all kinds of niggas at Jack. One of them is this ninja, a shinobi. This episode, there's many, but this is one of the ones that made me think, oh ho ho, cinema. Because the ninja obviously wears black. Samurai Jack wears white. And there's a section of the episode where the screen is completely in black and white. And I don't mean like grayscale, I mean black and white. Like it's divided. And Jack realizes he can use the light the same way that the ninja would use the shadows. So he covers himself in his gi the way a ninja is covered in black. As they move through the scene, Jack disappears in the white shots and the ninja disappears in the black shots. And then they go through them, they reappear and disappear, and they're fighting the whole time. And oh my God, it's so amazing.
That's really dope, actually. Also, I
It's
think
so
it's
dope.
funny that we use cinema as a joke, but we also know exactly what the other person means when we say it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, like it's like a half joke because I'm poking fun at the people who like say cinema to like elevate some things at the expense of others,
Mhm.
but I will also say the word to elevate things that I just think are super dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm only making fun of the negative parts of the cinema people, but but yeah, that's just the best word to describe it. It's super dope. But yeah, the show is super beautiful. They will like linger on shots, establishing shots way longer than you would expect for a kids show. They asked Gendy about this back in the day, and one of the things he said was, I think we kind of disrespect children a little bit because we assume that they can't sit and wait for a second. We assume they don't have the patience or they'll be turned off for an establishing shot with no dialogue or anything like that. Like, you got to give the kids more credit. And I'm glad he did. I wasn't the kind of kid he was talking about because I don't remember being patient enough to watch the show back in the day. It was wasted on me as a 9-year-old, but I love it. It's fantastic. It's just, it's so good. The scores are good. The animation is good. Everything's good. So, if you're into action and or beautiful animation, I definitely recommend it. There's probably something there for you. Like, even if like Colin, you get through the first few and you're like, I don't know if I'm really vibing with it. There's going to be an episode or a few episodes probably that correlate with something you're interested in. Colin, I honestly think, and this is, kind of the running joke about you being a closeted horror fan, which you are, but the haunted house episode is so good from a storytelling standpoint
Mm.
that I think you would actually like it. And you would be like, oh man, this is creepy. But you like creepy stuff. You just won't admit it to yourself. So I think you would
No,
enjoy
see,
it.
there's a difference.
What's up?
Creepy, I can vibe with.
Okay.
There's a different, like, if you're trying to do something that's a little more interesting than just this person goes around killing people, like, I'm not gonna watch a Scream or a
Right. You
Halloween
don't like
or a
slasher
Friday
movies.
the 13th. A slasher movie, yeah, because it's just like, what's this guy gonna do? He gonna stab you.
Yeah, I don't like those either.
I'm not even afraid of that because it's just like, okay, you stab me, I'm dead, we move on. But it's like,
All right.
that's why like the psychological shit, like that kind of shit where it's like, oh, this is a lasting impact or it goes on for a while, like that I'm more interested in.
Okay. I think you would rock with the haunted house episode. Audience, if you're still listening, watch the show. Or hit me up and I will give you an episode that I think you'd be into if you tell me what you're into. Because the show got something for everybody. It's just so good. And I'm sad now because I finished it. I need to watch other things.
Yeah,
Demi, do you have a what you're watching?
I do.
Oh, snap. Cool.
Yeah, what you been watching, what you been doing, all that stuff. Number one, Taylor Swift just re-released Red, which was like the first album of hers that I bought. It's fall music season, people. Christmas has not arrived yet. So if you would like something to listen to, I highly recommend listening to her re-release of Red. And also checking out the short film that she made for her 10-minute version of All Too Well. It's a very good short film. And whoo, buddy, the age difference is uncomfortable.
Oh,
But that
no.
is, well, no, but it's on purpose. It is purposefully done.
Okay.
That is the message that she is trying to send across, is how uncomfortable this age difference is.
Got it.
And she succeeds.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. But yeah, she wrote and directed the video for All Too Well. And it's very, very good. It's very well done, shot on 35 millimeter. It is cinema. You guys know who both of these actors are. Actually, Colin might not know who Sadie Sink is, but Dallas would know who Sadie Sink is because she's the redheaded girl on Stranger Things
Oh, okay.
and Dylan O'Brien.
Oh, yeah. Who did they put? Oh, no. Is she? Oh, okay.
She's 19. I looked up her age immediately.
Yeah, I had to look that up just now. It's like, wait, there's one thing. Like, there's age difference and then there's crime.
How old is he?
30.
Too old for that?
I also started watching Arcane on Netflix.
Mm.
Yeah.
By the
hello.
time this comes out, I will have seen the latest 3 episodes. However, right now I've only seen the first 3. This is a weekly release from Netflix. I think they are releasing like
They're calling it batches.
okay,
So batch 1, batch 2, batch 3.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I saw it finally pop up on Netflix, I was like, weekly. I was like, since when is Netflix doing weekly releases? What is this?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
But yeah, so I watched the first 3 episodes, and I know nothing about League of Legends. I've never played the game before. I know nothing about their mythology, nothing about these
Don't do it.
characters. But I was very interested in the story that they're telling. I really like the world that they've created, I guess, for this game, but for this TV series. It stars like a bunch of dope people. Haley Steinfeld's in it as one of the main characters.
Nice.
I heard Shure Agdajlu speak, and I was like, hey, I love her. I was so
Right? That made me
excited.
so happy.
Her voice is just so, like, you know her voice when you hear it. So
And she
distinctive.
attaches herself to like so much sci-fi and fantasy.
She's great. Kevin Alejandro is Jace. Miles Brown is playing Echo. Jason Spizek is in it. I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
I think he's on Young Justice.
Yeah, he's Wally, I
He's
think.
Forager. Oh, is he? No, right. Forager or somebody else. I think he is Wally.
Yeah,
I
he's
like him.
Wally. But yeah, he's on the show. Remy He? I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name. But he's on the show. Yeah, it's got a really good cast. The animation is super dope. It kind of looks like a video game, but also everything is just so pretty. And also, I think this show has the most beautiful animated character I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Yo, she's stunning.
Mel is beautiful. I was like, this is a gorgeous piece of animation. Like, the way that they light her, the gold flecks on her face against that brown skin, like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is perfection. Animators, you guys deserve a raise for this character creation right here because this design is beautiful. But yeah, I should probably tell you guys what the story is. Set in utopian Piltover and the oppressed underground of Zon, the story follows origins of two iconic league champions and the power that will tear them apart.
All
So
right.
yeah, the first 3 episodes were interesting. There's magic, there's technology, there are cool characters. There's a potential sociopath, which I'm always down for. So, you know,
Yes, you are.
yeah, that
Colin's face says he is not down for that.
no. I think I also just found the path towards that sociopathism very interesting. So,
Sociopathism.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if there's a word for this, but
I think it's sociopathy.
Sociopathy.
sociopathy, yeah,
maybe.
probably.
I think it's
Yeah.
sociopathy. But I
Sociopathic
like
behavior?
sociopathism
I
better.
don't know.
I was
Sociopathism
wrong
is
and
much
right.
more fun to say.
It is more fun. But it's gonna bother me if I don't say this. Jason Spizak was Wally and Forager,
Oh, okay, cool.
which is why we
You
said
were
Wally
both
and Forager.
right.
Yeah,
Good
he's
job.
both.
Woo! But yeah, I highly recommend the show. It's a lot of fun so far. I like what they're doing. I'm excited to watch these next 3 episodes. By the time this podcast episode comes out, I'll have watched those 3 episodes.
Nice.
I'm curious to see where the show is going.
The thing about the show that I really enjoy is like, I played League in college. I ain't playing that shit again.
Yeah.
But I watched the episodes and then I saw a meme that was like, can you imagine, watching the show and like loving the show and then deciding to try the game it's based on? Like, you log on, get called a racial slur within 5 minutes.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what League is. Well, I mean, when you play a game with millions of players and they have access to voice chat, some of them are going to be nice and some of them are not.
Yeah, I don't do online gaming. One, because I'm bad at video games, but two,
Mhm.
because I feel like if I was better at video games, then I could take solace in the fact that the kid calling me a racial slur is getting dusted. Like, I'm mollywhopping you. You can call me whatever you want. But like, I'd be losing and then be getting
Yeah.
laughed at and called a racial slur, and that's too much. Then I gotta show up at your house, and I don't want to do all that.
Yeah. I this is also why I do not turn on the team chats when I'm playing Destiny 2. So
Yeah.
also, I've started reading Dune because Colin gave me his Dune book because he was never going to finish it. So I started
Yeah.
reading it. News.
We're gonna talk about some news. All right, so a couple things before we get into the big one. There's a trailer for Voir. It's probably
Voir.
not. Yeah, it's Voir.
Yes.
Like noir, but with a V.
Mm. Beautiful.
Did either of you guys watch this trailer?
I did
No.
actually.
That makes sense
Because,
to me. I
you
feel like
know,
this is
I'm a film
more your
nerd.
thing. Yeah. So
Did
for those who
you?
don't know, Voir is Netflix's latest attempt to incite violence in me because they teamed up with David Fincher. Again, I've talked about this, I think, twice by now on the podcast. In case you didn't hear it, they went on Twitter and they said, "Hey guys, we got a surprise coming from Netflix and David Fincher. We're gonna announce it tomorrow. Be excited, guys. There's a surprise coming. Netflix and David Fincher." And part of me was like, "Oh my god, it's Mindhunter." And then the other part of me, the larger part, was like, "Nigga, no, it's not. You know, it's not Mindhunter. Don't be excited." And it wasn't. It was Voir, which
means to see in French.
okay, cool. That's what that is.
Oh, that's why it's named that.
Yes.
I don't know if they were just like combining the word noir with a view for some reason. I was like, what? But that makes more sense.
No, it's legitimately a French word meaning to see.
Because if there's anything that shouts cinema, it's
French.
French. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I watched the trailer again this morning and I had a couple thoughts. My first thought is these niggas better quit playing with me. Netflix, you announce one more thing with David Fincher that's not Mindhunter, I will sit here and complain about it because that's pretty much all I can do. So I watched the trailer and it looks like Colin, you haven't been to AMC in a while, but to me, I know you have. You know that weird Nicole Kidman thing that they play before all the movies?
Yeah.
It looks just like that. Like someone is talking about movies and blah blah blah. It's like this old come back to the cinema ass ad that we were getting when movie theaters were opening up and all the actors and directors and stuff were making these videos like movie theaters. Come back to the movie theaters and watch movies because you like movies and you like theaters. Come back
I
and
liked
watch these
it,
movies.
but it's because I'm a film nerd. So also, I'm highly doubtful that the show is actually going to look like what it looks like in the trailer or what that looks
No.
like in the trailer.
It's an eyeball looking at like movie shots. I know it's gonna have to be different than that.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I don't want to just watch everything through a pupil, iris. I don't know the parts of the eye. Yeah, the premise is interesting enough. I like movies. I like listening to people talk about movies. I didn't recognize any of the names that they listed. It's like
Which
as
is
told
crazy
by
'Cause a
these 5
bunch
people.
of people in the comments are talking about Tony Zhao, I guess. He is very well known for his video essays. There's
Okay.
something called Every Frame a Painting.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I guess that was his show or web series. I don't know what it is, but everybody in the comments are like, "Man, I miss his video essays," and, like, we're
Mm,
super excited just to hear his voice in general in the trailer. So I'm assuming he's very good at what he does.
okay. I mean, that's good. It looks good. Like, I am into listening to people talk about movies, but I do that more on the scale of YouTubers that I come across. I feel like this is I'm not gonna say higher, but, like, it's not at that level, but it's also not the group of people that I'd want to listen to as they talk about movies because I don't know who these people are. And, maybe he's gonna bring in more guests and more voices. It has the potential to be interesting. I'm just very mad that it's not Mindhunter. So, run up, Netflix.
I'm very excited. Well, I don't know if I'd say very excited, but I do wanna check out this show because I do also like listening to people talk about movies. I especially like people who are super analytical about movies.
Mm,
I don't know, there's something about listening to people who have studied film, who just deep dive into film.
mhm.
So I am curious to check out the show and see what it's like.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get varied voices. I'll say that because, like, what you're saying is interesting, and there's obviously a market for people who studied film and work in it to talk about film. But I find more interest in hearing a lot of different perspectives. I think that's why I go to YouTube for this because I can listen to Toonrific Tariq give the perspective on animation shows we grew up with. He comes from the perspective of, a dude from New Jersey, but also who went to film school and studies animation. When you hear him speak, he sounds kind of more casual like we do, but he knows what he's talking about. He went to school for this. Or like that guy that was making the Riverdale video that we were watching over here a couple weeks ago.
I don't know if this is everything, but it says the 6 episode Campfire Studios production features appearances by film critics Walter Chaw and Drew McWeeny, writer and animator Taylor Ramos, blogger Sasha Stone, and editor and writer Tony Zhao.
I think those are the names that they put in the trailer. But I didn't recognize any of them.
I actually recognize a couple of those names. I know I've heard of Drew McWeeny. I've seen him pop up on my Twitter quite
Okay.
often.
But yeah, that's Voir. Or, Vor if you just want to say it like
That's not how it's pronounced.
that. I know, Demetria.
Oh
All right.
God, don't. Not that I have a thing against that name, because my cousin actually,
Right.
my cousin calls me that as a nickname for fun, like as a joke. But that's
Okay.
not my name.
All right. You want to move on to the poster for Spider Man?
Oh yeah, let's talk about. Yeah, I forgot we were even talking about that today. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's talk about the No Way Home poster that they've released, which has a lot of little hints as to what's to come. I think we already knew quite a bit, but it's fun to just see it.
Yeah. We got some Doc Ock arms, Green Goblins
Sandman,
way in the back. We got some sand,
lightning bolt
some
for Electro.
lightning. I think out of all these things, the only one that I didn't have any anticipation for already was Sandman. Uh,
Some people had pointed out that there is some sand in the trailer.
It's so funny to me. It's like, oh, there's some sand.
There's some
It's like,
sand, guys.
obviously, things are deliberate in movie trailers. So if there is some sand,
In
they're
a
probably
Spider-Man
doing
trailer.
Sandman, but it's just like, right. But it's just like, oh, look, sand. It's just a silly thing to hear out of context.
Because it's like, that's also funny to me because technically there was sand in the last Spider-Man movie, but like
Yeah.
It's true. There was
wasn't
some sand.
connected to Sandman, so it didn't matter. But now it's like, oh shit, well this could actually be. It's like,
This time it's actually
Yeah,
Sandman.
yeah.
right. Because even in this poster, we don't see Sandman. We see a lot of sand. Like
We
he's
see
not taking the
Sandman.
form of a man. There's just so much sand that it's like, okay, it's got to be Sandman.
Yeah.
What, they just like go to a desert and there's no Sandman in it.
No.
You just go to a beach. Like,
That's crazy, bro. That'd be hilarious. Fans would be pissed.
I would love that.
I am excited to see what the Green Goblin's costume looks like.
Mm.
Especially in comparison to what Raimi's Spider-Man Green Goblin costume looked like, because that was early 2000s. We hadn't quite mastered the superhero costume yet, but also they were going for a lot more, I guess you could say, comic accurate back then. So it could be
Yeah. Well,
seen as a little goofier. And nowadays we found a way to be comic accurate but cool at the same time.
it's funny. I think what they were trying to do was we want to make it kind of accurate, but also kind of cool because a lot of the times in comics and cartoons, Green Goblin is just a dude with like a Party City Goblin mask and what looks like a purple burlap sack on his torso and a little
Fair.
old Ebenezer Scrooge's purple nightcap on his
You are
head.
making valid points out here.
So it's like they definitely changed it a bit for even Raimi's version.
But now we've
Yeah, I
got
guess we'll
updates.
see.
You know,
Yeah.
we've come a long way with technology and costuming since the early 2000s. So it'll be interesting to see what they've done with the costume, if they've even changed it at all. Maybe they were just like, "Nah, we're gonna keep it the same."
They might for like nostalgia purposes, and that's honestly a lot of the market. Or yeah, a lot of the marketing for this movie is, hey, remember that? And then yeah, in Andrew Garfield's version, he was just ugly. And they gave him like a glider. Just say, make him ugly. So
Makes me
hopefully they
sad
do more
because
than that.
I love Dane DeHaan. He's a great actor.
He's so good. And that was and even
Not
in
it,
the beginning of that movie, like he was playing Harry well.
because he's a good actor.
Yeah. And then they're just like, oh, be ugly and cackle. I'm saying, all right, well, fine.
Choices were made,
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what they
which
do with this one.
we're gonna talk about that next month before
Yeah.
No Way Home comes out. But yeah, lots of little Easter eggs, not even little Easter eggs, big Easter eggs all over this poster. That's kind of the point of the poster. I think Sony even underneath the tweet where they posted the poster, posted the poster. Nice. They tweeted, yeah, go ahead and zoom in. Like, because they knew
Yeah.
people were
Go
going
ahead.
to
Zoom in
like,
on those details.
yeah, they knew that fans were immediately just going to start looking for those details. This poster was specifically made for that purpose. And I think it does it well. It's funny.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where it doesn't matter what kind of marketing material you put out. I'm so excited to see it that I'm gonna see it. They don't even have to put out another trailer. They're going to, probably within the next few days. But
I think it comes out this week.
yeah, I think somebody said the 16th, which is funny because that might be the day that we release this episode. But yeah, it's just like I don't need another trailer. I'm gonna see this movie regardless. I don't need another poster. I'm seeing this movie. This poster could have just been a black poster that said Spider-Man No Way Home, and
Yeah.
I would still go see this movie.
That's
I
the
didn't
thing you
need any
don't
marketing.
get is
Hmm?
like for Marvel specifically and Spider-Man specifically, because the way to me you've always given a rough explanation of it is that like marketing is about what? Like double the budget of the film or it doubles the budget.
It is basically the budget of the film. That's like the rule of
Right.
thumb
Oh,
that
okay,
people
okay.
say for big blockbuster movies is that like you
Mhm.
spend 100 million on this film, well, you're probably spending 100 million on the marketing as well.
Right. And that's where I don't understand. Marvel does not need to spend that much money on marketing at this point because it's a Marvel movie. You know you're gonna make millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Sony in this
Like
case.
Sony, sorry. So it's like it's just funny to me that they put out so much marketing anyway, because it's like, you know, people are gonna see this movie. You say there's a Spider-Man movie coming out, people are gonna go see it, doesn't matter what it is. It could be 2 hours of Peter sitting in a room going, "You know what? Do I wanna be Spider-Man? Do I not?" And flipping a coin for 2 hours. And after the fact, maybe people wouldn't see it again, but you'd get that initial rush of money.
Yeah, I think most of that money though goes into like campaigns and stuff and like deals with different merchandising and like cereal boxes and all that type of stuff, putting
Oh
posters on
yeah.
benches and putting posters in cities and on billboards. I think that's where most of that money
Mm.
goes. Less so than actually making trailers and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think they really need to make too many trailers for stuff like this. You don't have to show as much of anything. People are saying that this next trailer is going to be 3 minutes long, and I'm like, you don't need a 3-minute trailer. I
We've
just
already gotten too much.
like I don't need
Well,
to
I
see
feel
that
like at
much.
this point, the movie is not trading on what the movie is, like, plot-wise, it's trading on, "Look at all these references to the past things." So if you can just fill 3 minutes of that, that's really all you need, and that's probably what they'll end up doing so that you don't know what the plot is, and you're just going in based on, like, nostalgia and, "Ooh, I wanna see all this stuff I remember."
That's true.
I mean, I think it's both. The last movie gave us the plot, and then the end of the trailer gave us, hey, look who's here. But it
Mm.
starts out with, hey, all right, Peter, they know who you are. You're sad about it. You don't want them to know anymore. You're going to go Doctor Strange. Wong is like, hey, bro, don't do that. Strange is like, all right, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a lying ass nigga. And then it's a lot of plot in that trailer. And then after all of that, it's like, hey, Goblin's here. Doc Ock is here. Lightning, sand. So, oh well. Either way.
I think that's what I really like about like the Batman trailer.
Mm,
We're getting all of those comic aspects from the Batman trailer, but also we have a small amount of plot detail, but we don't know a lot about that movie.
right. Like we know Riddler's involved.
Yeah, we've seen enough to be like, "Hey, it's based off comic books and it's Batman and it looks
Hmm.
cool. Go see it."
Right. But Spider-Man trailers have like not always, but at least for the Tom Holland ones, they've done that a lot where they give away a whole lot of story. But either way, I'm gonna watch it.
Right? It doesn't change anything. Gonna watch it.
Sure don't. So going from something that is Disney adjacent to something that is
Straight up
Disney
Disney.
Disney, it was Disney Plus Day, which is not a thing I knew existed.
It's a thing that they announced for the first time this year.
Okay.
Disney is trying to make Disney Plus Day a thing.
Is it just we're gonna post things on Twitter?
I think so. It's the
Okay.
celebration of their anniversary of when Disney Plus launched.
They
Right.
also put the thing on Disney Plus, like the preview of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so did they do it like the way Fandom was like a stream?
No.
No. So there's the Twitter thread, and there's also just like a 14-minute just Disney Plus Day video that they just put up there
Okay,
that
got
you
it,
can
got
just
it, got it.
watch. But it
Got
wasn't
it,
like
got
a stream or anything.
Yeah, there definitely was not enough content for them to have like a full-on stream of like anything. Although I
It also
guess
like
I don't know. They didn't have
it
much
would have been a bunch
less
of like
footage.
this is happening, but we're not giving any more than that. So I feel like it wouldn't have been very satisfying presented in a stream form.
Yeah, you would just have somebody like, "Hey, look at this logo. Now look
Yeah.
at this logo. All right, peace."
But we were talking about Spider-Man just now, and one of the things that was announced for this Disney Plus Day was that they are doing an animated Spider-Man series that will be the basically I guess Spider-Man prequel for the MCU Spider-Man, for Tom Holland Spider-Man, called Spider-Man Freshman Year.
Uncle Ben about to get it
It's come full circle, guys.
I am excited. I love Spider-Man. I love, Spider-Man cartoons. I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. Have they said if he's gonna voice him?
They haven't said whether or not he's going to voice him or if they're going to have the guy who voiced him probably for
And
like
What
what if. I will say this though, I found out last night that the guy who's running the show, he's the head writer and he's the showrunner of the show, is a black man. So shout out to him.
Nice.
We love to see it. I'm gonna
We
go
do.
look up his name so that we can give him a proper shout out.
Yeah, but everyone heard about this and was just like, "Oh, time to watch Uncle Ben die again."
Oh, for sure.
Uncle Ben is trending on Twitter now because of this announcement. This is what people talk about him dying.
Jeff Trammell, that's his name. He's the head writer and executive producer for Spider-Man Freshman Year. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff Trammell.
We love to see it.
We love Black excellence.
But also, we got a bunch of other announcements from this thing. Mostly announcements of like not dates, but years when things will be finally releasing.
Yeah.
I'm interested in like the Cheaper by the Dozen remake
Oh,
that
with
they're making.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah,
and
and
Zach
Zach
Braff?
Braff.
That's the
Yes.
one with the couple with the 12 kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
interested to see
I
what
love
they're doing
Gabrielle
with
Union.
it. I liked the Steve Martin
Can let me
movies
know.
when I was a kid. So,
I heard they're good. I never got around to those. Didn't really catch my eye.
and then the Baymax series coming summer of 2022. I loved Big Hero 6.
Oh, me too. It's so good. I love that movie.
I don't know
I love
where
Big Hero 6.
the heroes are in this show. I watched the trailer like earlier.
I mean, it ain't about them.
I'm looking forward to finding out because Hiro's aunt is there.
Yeah,
And
she
Baymax is in her house and her cafe, and he is working there. So they're in the same place. I just don't know where everybody went. But yeah, it looks funny. It looks very cute. I don't know what kind of stories this is going to be sustained by for an entire series, but I look forward to finding out.
It'll be interesting, especially because they already had a Big Hero 6 animated TV series.
Yeah, on Disney XD.
Yeah.
But that was like a whole, we got a whole team. We can do whatever we want. Like, this is Baymax making coffee, which is hilarious.
It's hilarious for sure. I just feel like you could have gotten that same. I mean, the cast came back for the TV series, so I'm sure that they would have come back for the higher budget version of the TV series.
True. Although Ryan Potter's making a Titans now, right?
Yeah, but
maybe he's busy.
you can do live action and voice acting.
Yeah, voice acting is, from what I've heard, it doesn't take as much of your time. That's why voice actors always have like 60,000 credits.
Yeah, you can just do it from your house.
Exactly. I'm curious to see if we're gonna see. Is her name Kat? I think Aunt Cass is her name.
Yeah.
If we're gonna see her like setting up her profile, because in Wreck-It Ralph 2, she's
Oh no,
the single mom in the area.
No.
I can't remember. Like, obviously, it's a PG rated version of that ad that we've seen in those places, but it's something along the lines of like, hot single moms in your area, and it's the aunt from Big Hero 6.
No.
So,
I don't
yeah.
like it.
I want to see her OnlyFans page. Moving on.
There's also Disenchanted, which is coming out, which I'm super excited about because I loved Enchanted so much. So I'm excited to see what they do with that because it's been like 10 years, bro.
It has been a minute. I didn't see Enchanted.
It's very good.
I heard good things.
Sequels coming fall 2022. I'm excited. I want to see what they do, especially because the first movie, Patrick Dempsey's character has a child, has like a little girl. So I'm like, are we gonna age up? Is she gonna be like a teenager or adult now?
I mean, probably should. I don't know. Magic, they can do whatever they want.
I'm curious. Can't wait to find out.
I'm curious about Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which is
Hey, that looks fun.
a show I never watched, but I love John Mulaney. I love Andy Samberg. They're both super silly and fun. And Chippendale has always been super silly and fun. Even though I didn't watch the show, I grew up in a very Disney house.
Yeah.
So like I knew of Chippendale, went to Disneyland a lot. So I was like, hey, little chipmunks. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do. Because this one is a movie. Was the
Yeah,
other
it
one a
is.
movie or a TV show?
I think they've probably had both.
Probably. It's cute. They got a picture of a cute little script. It's adorable.
Spring 2022. I'm excited. Yeah, I didn't watch the show too much. I think I've seen like a few episodes. I think I was one of those kids who like literally like if the animated show was on, I was gonna check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers was one of those things. Also, like yeah, this show was when we were like really, really, really small. So I would have no
Yeah.
memory of it anyway.
Same.
John Mulaney and Andy Samberg are super funny, so it'll be great to hear them play Chippendale. I love Chippendale. Chip is always my favorite.
Are they named after the place, or is it the other way around? Either way, it's weird.
I'm sure that they
Right.
are probably older than the place, but now that you say it, I gotta go look it up.
Why did they call that?
I wish I could tell you. Well, the dance troupe is from 1979.
Yeah, if you Google Chippendales, which man, now my Google is gonna be weird. It says Chippendales Las Vegas is a mantastic sex god abs party. And you know,
The cartoon characters were created in 1943.
yeah, see, so like when you're making a mantastic sex god abs party, maybe don't market it after some Disney furry creatures.
I mean,
Chipmunks?
aren't they different things technically?
What do
Chip
you mean?
and Dale versus Chippendale, like, or is it?
I
How
mean,
do
yeah,
you
it's spelled differently, but it's called Chippendales, and their name is Chippendale.
right? But like, it takes 2 seconds to disconnect them. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter. No
But
one's
what?
gonna make the mistake of accidentally showing their kid that.
No. I'm not worried about getting them mixed up. I'm saying, why call it that? If I
I don't.
wanted to
My
make a
guess is
strip
they were
club, I'm
trying to
not
do
gonna
something
name it
completely
Minnie
different.
Mouse.
Right,
That's
but I
weird.
don't. The fact that they're spelled differently makes me think that they weren't connecting them at all. Like, there was no that they didn't think of the connection.
Or like maybe this is just a word that means something else.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
trying to.
I don't
He
know.
renamed the bar to Chippendale. Yeah, it doesn't say why.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know.
It's a place in New South Wales.
Apparently, they're named after a classic Chippendale style furniture that adorned the club. So I guess it's not just the characters, it is also a type of furniture.
All right, well that's better. Furniture is better than some furry little chipmunks. We can move on. Hocus Pocus is coming back.
Woo! Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, and they got the
Wait, hold
witches.
on.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
What's up? What do
I'm
we
on
got?
the Chippendales Wikipedia page, and there's not much to it. But there is this bit about the dude who founded it.
Oh, what's his story?
It's a little.
It ends very sadly.
It
Oh, no.
does. He hired a hitman
What?
to murder his business partner. He also
Yo.
tried to have 2 other people killed. It's wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get away from that. Hocus Pocus 2. Witches, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker,
Kathy Najimy.
Kathy Najimy, thank you. Unpopular opinion, I don't care about Hocus Pocus. So Demi, I'm gonna pass this on to you.
What up? High five.
I love Hocus Pocus. It's one of those movies that I watch every Halloween. Shout out to Kenny Ortega. Man has been making great movies that have continued to just be enjoyable throughout my lifetime. Yeah, Hocus Pocus is a great time, and I'm wondering what virgin is gonna light the candle this time around.
Yo, I think in that tweet they tagged some random person as Kathy, which is delightful.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm looking at the account they tagged, and it's very clearly not her because they're only retweeting things about PlayStation.
There's a check mark though, which is odd.
Oh, yes. Oh my god. That's real. I thought maybe like it was one of
No,
those they put
it's
it in
Might
not.
there
have gotten
'cause-
hacked.
Oh,
There's
that's
also
probably what happened.
it's followed by Ryan Reynolds, Tara Strong, and Phil Lamont. Like,
Oh, so maybe
Yeah.
this was her at some point.
Maybe she became a PS5 bot.
Oh Lord.
Oh, yep. Because if you go back, there's stuff about her and stuff, but like, oh yeah, yep. And then she got hacked, and now it's all about PS5s.
Somebody should
Definitely
tell
got hacked.
her.
But yeah, they announced the new cast recently.
You know, it's funny, Colin. I thought when Demi said that thing about the virgin, and you said they tagged a random person, I thought that you were gonna say that they tagged a random person and just assumed that that person was a virgin. And was
Lord
like, "You
Jesus.
light the candle."
No, they recently announced new cast members for the movie. I think Sam Richardson was one of them, which sounds like it's going to be hilarious.
I like him.
That's coming out fall 2022, September, October, I'm assuming, because Halloween, which means that
Yeah.
I could watch Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2 back to back for Halloween. That'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun.
That's true. And we've never done the throwback for Hocus Pocus, right?
We did do a throwback for Hocus Pocus.
We did a fan cast.
Oh,
Oh.
we could do a throwback, yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Tune in
Content.
next year to see if we do a throwback for Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. I'm gonna have some things to say about that blonde witch trying to ride everybody.
Sometimes people be horny.
We've got the live action retelling of Pinocchio, which is starring Tom Hanks, Cynthia Erivo, and Luke Evans, as well as some other people. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is providing a voice. Keegan-Michael Key, Lorraine Bracco. I'm assuming Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is probably going to be Pinocchio, but I don't know. I don't know who this person is.
And this again is not the Guillermo del Toro one.
No, because
this is
that's for Netflix.
Robert Zemeckis one.
This is Robert Zemeckis.
Gotcha. Okay.
I feel like I heard about the Del Toro one like
a million years ago.
What, 80 years ago?
Yes.
So what's
It's
going
still
on with
happening.
that? Okay.
He like is doing other stuff in between. Like, oh, let me just go make Nightmare Alley while I'm waiting. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna happen
Yeah.
eventually. But this Pinocchio is coming out fall 2022. I like Robert Zemeckis. The man made Back to the Future, and I love Back to the Future. So I'm excited to see what he does with that. He also made Welcome to Marwen, so we'll also see how these puppet looks.
Ooh.
But continue.
Cool,
Dallas.
I'm out. I'm 100% out.
I mean, you were already out. It's about a puppet.
No, I'm gonna watch Guillermo del Toro's version.
Well, yes,
Right, which is
that's
gonna
because
be more terrifying.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's because you're a horror fan, Colin.
Yeah. Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. Colin, you remember Haunting of Bly Manor, right?
Yeah.
You remember Miles, that creepy ass little boy?
He's the kid. Oh.
He-
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah. You
Are
should
you
have
sure this
been in
isn't
Del
a
Toro's
horror
version.
movie? Are you sure this isn't a horror movie? Because he about to like kill some birds or something. I
I mean,
don't.
Pinocchio's
terrifying.
always terrifying. So
Well,
Yeah, honestly,
I mean,
the original one is not. It's not like a fun time.
it's very tragic
it's
and
a lot.
sad.
There's too much going on.
Little
Also,
boys
Robert
get turned
Zemeckis made
into
Forrest Gump, too.
donkeys.
Yeah, it's body horror. There's a dude selling kids as slaves.
Yeah, it's very dark naturally.
Geppetto just shows up with a kid one day and nobody asks questions.
it just be like that.
Yeah, don't.
I gotta go watch that. What was it? A Crackle or Cracked video? after
Cracked.
this is over
I
now?
love that's my favorite thing about Pinocchio. It's the video he's just breaking down all the weird stuff in it.
Oh God.
Just Geppetto, just the town weirdo, walks into church one day with an 8-year-old, and they're like, "Hey, where'd you get that kid?" Look, this is my boy. I made him out of wood. Like, no.
I show
He's
that video.
not
to
lying
people
though.
when I
That's
just
exactly what
watch it.
happened.
It's so funny. There's also some Nat Geo stuff that I might watch. I'm gonna watch the Will Smith one because Will Smith,
Chris Hemsworth has one coming out as well.
he does. It's called Limitless, and he is climbing ropes and such. I don't know beyond that.
Yo, the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Super excited about that one.
Yo, that one. I'm very excited. I saw the trailer and I thought, oh, okay, this looks good. The animation looks the same but different. Like they updated it, but they didn't change any character designs too drastically or anything like that, which I appreciate.
Yo, shout out to Tiffany and Kylie, who are two people that I know and I am friends with. They are in the writer's room for this show and have been working on it for the past 2 years.
Nice.
So shout out to them. Kylie is super, super dope. And I've known Tiffany since I was like a teenager. So they're both really dope. So I'm really excited to see the
I
show.
cannot believe you just skipped over Sneakerella.
Hold on, Colin.
Do you not want to lace up and dream?
I'm gonna lace up and dream in a second, but I want to talk about the Proud Family.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Proud Family.
Definitely shout out to friends of the show in the writer's room. That's always something that we love to see. It kind of looks like they're aging it up a bit. Like Penny's obviously older.
That ending with the parents, bro?
Yeah, where she basically walks in and then getting it in. I was like, oh, whoa, what was that? I had to rewind it and look back. Like, wait, what was that? What was that? What were y'all doing?
Nothing. They weren't doing anything.
Wearing each other's clothes, hair all messed up. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. The guest star list looks pretty dope.
Guess our list is stacked, bro.
I think Gabrielle Union, Tiffany Haddish is there. Cedric the Entertainer's back again.
Lizzo's gonna be on it.
Lizzo's on it. I can't remember a lot
They
of
had
the
a
names.
really long list
Keke
of
Palmer,
names.
Billy Porter. Yeah, a lot of people. Shout out to Black people. I'm excited.
Yeah, I used to love the
February
show as a
22.
kid.
Yeah. It's one of the great ones. Speaking of Black people, I want to talk about Sneakerella because
Go for it. I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know.
I watched the trailer and I didn't know what was going on. Like, I saw the name and I was like, okay, Cinderella with shoes. And I'm gonna be honest, this looked like it ain't bad. I like Chosen Jacobs. He was great in it, and I would like to see him in more stuff. It's good to see him in something that isn't gonna be, being chased and threatened for 2 hours.
Yeah, I know Lexi Underwood is in it, and I like Lexi Underwood. She was really great on Little Fires Everywhere as Kerry Washington's daughter. She's a very talented actress. I've known about this movie for a while.
I did not.
John
It's
Sally's in it.
interesting. Like, John who?
John Sally?
The basketball player?
Yeah.
Okay, I did. I saw a tall, bald black man. I was like, he looks familiar. That's who that is. Nice. It's funny. I don't ever find myself interested in Cinderella stories, including Cinderella. But something about modernizing it, making it black, and kind of, I already said modernizing, but like, what's a way to say that differently? Like, you take it and you tell the story in this very contemporary way. I'm still probably not going to watch it, but
Yo.
it looks like something that's more my speed. But I did laugh at the end where they showed that lone sneaker that was like the glass slipper. I was like, isn't he gonna jump out of his shoes or drop a shoe? I don't know. We'll see.
Yo, I went to look up who it's written by.
Mm-hmm.
One of the writers on the movie is George Gore II. Now, if anybody knows who that is, he was on My Wife and Kids. He was the son, Michael Kyle Jr.,
Oh, snap. Oh, okay. I didn't know what he was doing now.
writing Sneakerella, apparently.
Junior. Look at Junior doing stuff. Dang, his Wikipedia ain't even got a picture on it. Good for you, George. Happy for you, man. Somebody let me know how Sneakerella is when it comes out in February. High School the Musical, the series. That's a musical and a series that about a high school musical. That's a series. Is getting another season.
Yeah, that was anticipated. Figured as much. I'm excited because I'm a fan of the show. So, yippee, we're getting season 3.
I guess they're doing Frozen.
Oh, Love is an Open Door.
Yeah, it says Love is an Open Door, and it says we have chills, and there's little snowflakes.
Oh, I guess we are doing Frozen this year. Last season we did Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay, cool. I am definitely, well, I guess that'll be Frozen too. But if they do Lost in the Woods, I want to see that. Now I'm lost in the woods.
I wouldn't be
Does the
surprised.
show, question for you to me, because you watch the show, right?
I do. I love the show.
Do they have a shut up and dribble scene?
No, they don't have a shut up and dribble scene.
That's probably good. I just want to see it in the show where somebody's like, hey, what was up with that in the movie? Stick to the stuff you know. Like basketball because you're black. All right.
Willow's original series is streaming in 2022. I've never seen the original movie. I know nothing about the TV series. I didn't watch the trailer because I haven't watched the movie yet, and I want to watch the movie first.
Yeah, probably wise.
Did you see who's in it? Also, I don't think this is a trailer. This is like a meet the cast.
Meet the
video.
cast.
Yeah, it's a meet the cast thing. I think I saw, is that Erin Kellyman who's on the
Yeah.
show? Yes.
Flag Smasher.
I saw a picture of her and I saw the red hair. It was first off, the picture was horribly pixelated. All I saw was the red hair, and I went, Erin Kellyman, is that you?
It is.
I'm just used to her hair now. That makes me more excited about the show because I do love Erin Kellyman. I think that she is such a talented actress. She was great on Solo. She was great in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, Tony Revolori is also going to be on the show.
Yeah, he's looking like he kind of looks like something about the turtleneck and the facial hair.
He looks like an art critic.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, he looks like what we said Adrian Brody looks like in one of our previous episodes, like the way an American would draw a Frenchman.
Yes.
He's also kind of giving me vibes of the kid from Incredibles that Violet was really into. Who was always walking around like a black turtleneck.
Like if he could grow facial hair.
Yeah, or be brown. The
One
videos
of these is easier to accomplish.
True.
One of them is racist.
I don't know anything about Willow. I'm not gonna watch this, but the video was actually really charming and cute. Like there's a part where he's trying to tell them how to say his name, Warwick Davis.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, Warwick. He's like, no, Warwick, forget the W. And then they say, Orrick. It's not the first W, the middle one. It's very cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, but first I have to watch the original movie. There's a behind the scenes look at the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's coming out, which they put on Disney Plus and not on Twitter, which was hilarious because Star Wars fans were
I'm
pissed.
confused. Is that different from the one that came out like the day before Disney Plus
Nope.
Day?
Same one.
Oh, so it was on Twitter, like because I found it on Twitter. So
Well, it was
then,
on Twitter as a leak the day before, and then when Disney
oh, a
officially
leak.
it leaked. And then when Disney officially released it, they were like,
Oh,
"Nah, you got to go to the website to go actually watch the thing." Also, if you went back to go look
mm,
at the ones from yesterday, they were like all copywritten or whatever and taken down off the
mm.
site.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've talked about Hayden Christensen's returning as Anakin Skywalker, which I'm super excited about. I don't know how or why I forgot this, but Deborah Chow is the director on the show, and Deborah Chow is such a talented director, and I'm so excited to see what she's going to do with this show. I think she's going to do something really amazing with it because her work on The Mandalorian was fantastic, and I think that she's really underrated as a director, most likely because she's mostly done TV.
Mm.
And it's really funny because I think most of the directors who have done episodes of like The Mandalorian, I really feel like most of them deserve to do like a Star Wars movie. I feel like they would be really, really good at those things because they've all done really magnificent stuff with The Mandalorian. So I'm really happy that she's the one who's going to be helming Obi-Wan Kenobi. There was footage of Ewan McGregor training with his lightsaber, and oof, the feels, man, the feels. The prequels came out when we were children, and I was obsessed. Star Wars Attack of the Clones is like the first movie I remember going to see in theaters the day that it came out.
Nice.
And it was a surprise. My parents didn't tell me that we were going to go see it until we were like an hour before we were going, or like we were on the car ride over. I had just gotten out of school. So like that's like one of my movie memories that I like have ingrained in me. So it's really nice to see Ewan back as Obi-Wan and to see Hayden back as Anakin. And
Nice.
finally appreciated because the prequels have been so hated for years.
That's true.
So I've spent years having to defend my love of the prequels, and now people suddenly want to be on the same side. But yeah, I'm super excited about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We didn't get much except for like concept art and them talking about making the show. Obi-Wan and Anakin are apparently going to face off again on the show, so it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. But I'm excited. It's supposed to come in 2022. That's what I'm here for. Let's do it. Let's go.
Speaking of coming in 2022, the internet is about to get weird about Judy Hopps again because Zootopia Plus is coming out.
I wish you had not phrased it like that.
I wish
It's
they
coming
could
in
have come up
2022.
with a better name.
Gabby's
You
not
wish what?
here.
What? They had come up with a better name. What is that?
It's
Zootopia
Zootopia Plus. Yeah,
Plus?
that's not great.
Come
It's
on.
just Zootopia's on Disney Plus, so let's call it Zootopia Plus. Y'all had time to workshop something. Sorry, Gabby is not here, but Colin is still here to rep for the furs. Although I don't see that tiger that he's so into on this poster. So,
Yeah, I mean, Zootopia was forgettable. Like, I saw it, and then
Colin,
I
that
never
movie's
thought about
great.
it again.
That movie is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it, I thought it was fine, then I didn't think about it except for the, memes and the abortion comic and, you know, all that.
No, don't ask him. Do
So
not ask him.
sometimes, no. I was gonna say, so sometimes you hear something and it raises questions, but then you think, if I ask this question, I have to hear more. So you just don't ask the question. So we're gonna move on.
So this guy
Nope.
Nope, no, no,
We
no.
don't need that.
So there's a Tiana TV
We just
show
want to say,
coming out, and I'm super excited about that.
yeah. Gabby, if you're listening, I'm sorry that we had to speed away from the animals, but Colin ruined it for you, so blame him. Tiana, Black people,
Woo!
amazing stuff.
I remember when Princess and the Frog first came out, I was so happy because, like, A, Black princess. Finally.
Yes.
B, she's from New Orleans. And as someone who has family who is from New Orleans and has, you know, somewhat partaken in New Orleans culture, I was super excited to see part of my culture up on the screen, more so than just being Black, but also like
Right.
being from New Orleans, like my family love of gumbo and how it brings people together. Like, yeah, I have experienced that. I know what that feeling is. So
Mm-hmm.
I loved Princess and the Frog when it came out. Still love it. I know people, you know, rightfully criticize the idea that she is a frog for like 90% of the movie. But I'm so happy that she's getting a TV show because now she doesn't have to be a frog for 90% of her storytelling time. Now she'll be a
She
human.
better not.
No, now she'll be a human for most of it. And apparently she is going to be an actual princess this time because she's going to go to Maldonia, which is, you know, her husband's country where he is prince. So it'll be interesting. And it's a musical.
Okay, see, like, I know that Tiana has more grace than this, but I'm just imagining basically Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Mm.
She does have way more
Like, I
grace
want
than
it, but Yeah, nah.
I'm excited for
Yeah,
that
comes
though.
out in 2023.
Yeah.
I expected it to be sooner, but
You
give
gotta
it time.
spread stuff out though. You can't just have
True.
everything drop at the same time. I'm also like stoked because Anika Noni Rose is coming back. So yay.
Nice.
And now we get into the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, speaking of 2023, X-Men 97 is a thing that is happening.
Okay, so
What's up, Colin?
so it's a new series,
Yes.
Yes.
but why?
It's
So-
like the new Masters of the Universe Revelations, where it's a continuation of the old series.
Okay. So is it gonna? I mean, I wonder if it's gonna look like the old series.
Uh,
Okay.
I mean,
Wait. Ooh, this is Disney, which means they won't do any sort of Juggernaut bitch reference.
probably
I
not
want
for the
it.
kids.
Also,
That's
that was
what
just
it
the
came
movies.
from. No, it was from that show.
Oh,
So it's
yes, that's
like-
right. You showed us that clip. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a dude dubbed over the show with nonsense. And then
Yes.
they referenced that video in the movie. Yeah, I am excited. This is a show that has a very safe pocket of nostalgia in my heart. I have since gone back to it, and it's not as good as we thought. Like, it's not bad, but we look at everything from the 90s comic book TV shows. I feel like we as a generation want them all to be Batman the Animated Series,
They're
and
not.
they're not. No, they're not. They're fun. And to be fair, there's definitely it's kind of like Colin with Samurai Jack. I was gonna say Samuel Jackson again. Like I watched the first few, and I thought I know there's stuff down the line that is gonna be better, more interesting, more like compelling stories, stuff from the comic books, more characters. But the beginning was just kind of like, all right, this was a lot of nostalgia for me. Now it's new, so I think it'll be better.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it?
I don't think I watched a lot of it. I was more of an X-Men Evolution type of person. I watched X-Men Evolution religiously.
I watched that one a lot more too. It's also because when the original came out, we were
5.
no. We had ended when we were 5.
Oh,
We
it
were
ended.
1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never
No,
mind.
almost 1. It came out on Halloween of 1992.
I was literally 3 weeks old.
Exactly. So like, it's just before our time. Like, we were 5 years old. We could watch X-Men or whatever. But X-Men Evolution was more. We were
actual kids when that show came out.
yeah. We weren't infants.
We were cognizant.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the Juggernaut. I think it's gonna be dope. And that theme song was fire.
Theme song is fire. I hope they don't change it. Marvel Studios also gave us, looks at Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel.
I will be back in 8 seconds.
I'm so concerned as to what he means by that. Anyway,
8 seconds. I don't know.
Moon Knight looks cool. I don't know what's going on with the accent that Oscar Isaac is using, although several people have pointed out.
That was what I needed 8 seconds
I was gonna
for.
say, I feel
Oh
like
my
he's
god.
listening to
I
the thing again.
am so excited. That accent is trash. I'm so
Several
excited.
people have pointed out that Mark Spector has multiple personalities, so there is the possibility that that is one of his multiple personalities. It's just
Yeah. So
why?
like there's speculation about that. Then someone argued that, oh, well, if you turn on the captions and it identifies that as Mark, so maybe that means it is actually him and not one of the other personalities, but we don't fucking know. But it's so bad. And it's like, what do you from what I understand, Moon Knight is like he's a serious man. He punches people, he killed people, he do the shit. This looks a lot like, the Daredevil, that
Yeah, somebody
genre
compared
of
him
Marvel
to
TV.
Batman.
Right.
That happens a
And
lot.
so it's like, you're gonna tell me that the chimney sweep is gonna be beating people up? Like, I can't. I hope that he's not doing that voice for long, because if he is, I can't take this show seriously.
Oi, bruv. That's Kazu, isn't it?
See, I needed, like, I was gonna need like a "you sound like you from London" review, because it's just like cinema.
I don't know how long that accent is going to last on the show, and I don't know how it lasted that long on set. But the action on the show looks dope.
He's not an English character.
He's
He's not an English actor. Why? If they're doing the thing like split dissociative identity disorder and one of them is English, okay,
Fine.
that's a way to go. I don't know why that's the voice in the trailer. So it leads me to believe that they're just making the character English, and there's no reason for that. Like, if you
Especially
got
since
an
he's a
actor who's
CIA
English,
agent.
yeah, just so many questions. So many questions.
So many questions that will be answered when we finally get an actual trailer, because right now these are just short little snippets that we're seeing put together for a entirely large sneak peek of what's to come for Marvel in general. But the action looks dope. The shots in the show actually look really cool. I like the visuals of what we saw so far. That accent is just a little
Mhm.
off-putting. So that's why when I was in the group chat, I was like, so I think Oscar Isaac is doing an accent.
Yeah, see,
Uh,
when you had sent that, I hadn't yet seen it. Oh, it's
Now you
just
understand why I
also,
messaged you.
one of our mutual friends, Lauren, did, like, an imitation of it, and I don't think I can send it to you because she sent it to me on Instagram, this whole thing, but, like, he sounds like a Victorian child, and I love it. I hate it, but I love it. But if that is his voice, I just wanna know, is Moon Knight going to have that voice, or is it gonna be like a Batman thing? Because if he walks up and is like, "Hey, hey, I'm gonna get you," like, I'm not gonna.
That's not scary. Yeah, Moonlight better have a different voice. Also, I would like for the actor to be Jewish because the character is very Jewish, but that's the thing that we have to get past because they already made the show.
Well, I mean, it's Oscar Isaac. He can be whatever you want him to be.
Mm.
She-Hulk looks
Yeah.
pretty dope.
I will definitely be watching that one, if any of them. Tatiana Maslany slaps.
Yeah, I've heard really great things about her.
She's so good, and now she's green.
Bruce Banner's gonna be on the show.
As he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got Roth back for Abomination. So
Oh, that's interesting. Because I was listening to another podcast, shout out to the Weekly Planet, and they were talking about Shang-Chi and how Wong seems to be just kind of chill with Abomination.
yeah,
But it's also like Wong is friends with Bruce Banner. So it's kind of like when you have two friends who don't like each other and then you can't invite them to the same things. They're
yeah,
like,
I know that feeling
Abomination
very
tried to
well.
kill this man. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how that all turns out. We got to see her be green, although we didn't see her fully in the green form. But we got to see her green, which will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see a different form in that style because we know what the Hulk looks like. We've seen several different iterations of what the Hulk looks like. And now we're going to see a different like body figure in that same sort of thing. So it'll be interesting.
Plus, like, that's kind of the thing about her is that she still looks like herself when she's She-Hulk all the time. So it's like, but she also still looks like herself. So that'll be interesting to see how they do that, as opposed to like, Hulk and Bruce Banner look like different people.
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany is 36 years old.
Sure.
I thought this woman was maybe 20.
Dude, no.
No, she had
That's
like a
crazy.
whole long running TV series, didn't she?
Yeah, Orphan Black for like 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Well, shout out to her. She looks great. Yeah, I've always liked She-Hulk. The character's funny. She's one of the characters like Deadpool who would break the fourth wall sometimes in the comic books, but not to the same extent because, that would be exhausting. But I'm looking forward to see what they do.
I like the inclusion of the "you won't want to see me when I'm angry."
Yeah, that's cute.
So funny. We got some footage of Ms. Marvel, more footage of Ms. Marvel, which will be interesting as well. I like how they are really emphasizing this Captain Marvel fangirl aspect of the character, which is very cute.
Yeah.
I'm definitely into it. My only concern is whether or not they have actually changed her powers, because it looks like they have, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But
I was
whatever.
curious to see whether or not they were actually going to show her powers in this sneak peek. Apparently, they are not.
There might have been a very brief glimpse of something, but it's 1 second of footage, so it's like hard to tell.
Yeah, I think the show was supposed to come out this year, and I think they've pushed it back to fall of next year. So
Oh wow, okay. Cool.
we'll see what happens.
Summer 2022, according to Twitter.
Summer 2022. And then on top of that, we got announcements about we're getting a second season of What If,
Yeah.
which we could have guessed.
Of course.
They confirmed that Echo is happening.
Who is Echo?
Echo is, from what I can remember, she's a deaf woman who's a martial artist.
Native American.
Yeah, the only reason I know who she is because I have a book that serves as a prequel story to the Spider-Man video game.
The recent one, the Insomniac one?
Yeah, the one everybody's from a couple years ago. And in that book, she's one of the main characters. She's the adoptive daughter of Kingpin.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's interesting, off the bat. What are we going to get? Because Kingpin is, are they bringing him back? I would like that. That would be cool.
She's making her first appearance in the Hawkeye TV series, and then she'll have her own spinoff afterwards when that's done. That'll be interesting. We talked about Spider-Man freshman year already. I Am Groot, an animated original series, is coming. No idea what that's even going to be about, but I love Groot, so why not? Ironheart, still happening. Confirmation on Agatha House of Harkness, which will be
Yeah.
starring Catherine Hahn, obviously.
I love it. More Catherine Hahn. Put her in everything.
See that my worry with that is that she was great in WandaVision. I worry that her on her own will be too much. Though I also don't know what this show. I mean, I guess it has to take place before the end of WandaVision.
It doesn't have to,
Well, it doesn't.
because they made it very obvious that her character arc would continue at the end of WandaVision. So now it's just a matter of what do they want her to do.
Well, true, but it's a question of how do you continue on from where she is at the end of WandaVision? She has to be Agatha first.
The fun part about storytelling is you can make up anything.
That's true.
Hmm.
Marvel just be
House
like,
of
yo,
Harkness,
comic
though,
books.
does seem to imply that it's going to be more than just her.
It does. It could be a prequel.
I like that logo. Looks dope.
Wasn't that whole thing, her whole story thing was like with her mom or something?
Yeah, she comes from like a coven of witches, so it could be about all that stuff.
That could be interesting.
And then we've got Marvel Zombies, which I'm assuming is just going to be a what if spinoff of that episode with the zombies.
Yeah, which is interesting because that episode is taken from a whole comic series created by, I want to say his first name is Robert Kirkman, the guy who made The Walking Dead.
Mm.
Yeah, he wrote
That's
Marvel
Robert
Zombies
Kirkman.
back in the day, and it is intense.
I don't know if Zombies is like the spinoff that I wanted out of What If. I don't know where you go from there because we saw most of the characters die already. So I'm curious
I
as
mean,
to where they'll go with it. Or will we just get the entire history of the Marvel Zombies like
that's what I'm assuming. If we're gonna do a whole
story?
show, I'm guessing they'll just adapt the comic instead of trying to focus on like jumping off from where What If left off. They can just tell the whole story because the story is already written out. They made these comics years ago.
Yeah.
And What If was kind of like a microcosm of the run of the comics. So they can just, here's the whole story. I like it.
Well, the last thing that Marvel further confirmed and they've changed the logo for is Secret Invasion, which is personally my most anticipated Disney Plus show that we have coming out of Marvel right now. We got a sneak peek at what Nick Fury is going to look like on the show with all that gray beard. Super excited about that one.
Yeah. Aliens. I've never been really into the
Scrolls.
scrolls in comic books. They've all just kind of been kind of uninteresting to me. I do like what they've done with, Ben Mendelsohn and all that.
And Bendelson
We
will
will
be on the
see what
show.
happens. As he should be. He's
Yeah.
a scroll guy.
I think a lot of my anticipation comes from the fact that Secret Invasion is actually a comic series that I've read most of, if not all of. It's one of my favorite comic series that I've ever read, and it is the comic series that made me a fan of the relationship of Hawkeye and Mockingbird.
Okay.
Such a good series. There's definitely got to be like this feeling of paranoia that's going to be going throughout the series because you won't know who to trust. And I'm super excited about them exploring that. And I love the cast. I mean, we've got Samuel L. Jackson returning as Nick Fury, Ben Mendelsohn is returning, and then we've got Emilia Clarke coming in to play a character. We're not quite sure who she's playing yet, but I hope it's somebody who will recur throughout the Marvel Universe. Kingsley Benadir is going to be on the show as well. For anybody who doesn't know who he is, he played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami.
Yeah. He's dope.
Yeah, it's a really dope cast so far. Should be a big deal.
Yeah, Secret Invasion is supposed to be a very big deal. So they're going to have to make an impact with that.
I always anticipated that it would be a movie, but it's going to be a TV series. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna play it out. And also, I think there's something exciting about following not necessarily a superhero in the Marvel universe. We're following Nick Fury, and Fury is an interesting character on his own, but he's not a superhero. He's a man who gets things done by bringing people together around him and having them get stuff done. I like that this is a character that we have a history with, but he's not a superhero.
Right.
And we'll get to meet new people around him.
Yeah. Aliens.
But yeah, that's all we've got for you guys today, guys. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's such a long episode.
So long. I'm so sorry.
Disney, why you do this to us? But yeah, thank you for sticking with us through all that Disney and other things that we started with like 2 hours ago. It's been fun. It's been fun for us. We like to talk. I hope you like to listen. Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and I for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, and fighting through the Red Death to be here with us.
I am not that sick, guys. It's really just a cold. I even got a COVID test to make sure.
It's really funny because, we were talking off mic, and as bad as it sounds, Gabby was coughing way worse when she was here in the last episode. I thought she was going to keel over.
That's true.
Colin, thanks for rocking with us, even though you don't care about the Red Notice or Samurai Jack
or Marvel stuff.
Yeah, or Marvel stuff. You just gotta.
Well, some of it.
You're here for the vibes, and I respect that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Audience, let us know what you think of Red Notice if you saw it. What you think about the 10 hours of Disney Plus content that we gave you? Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you want to talk about Samurai Jack with me, because I really need to talk about it some more, find me on Instagram or on Twitter at A King Named Simba, and we can talk about it because, I need to.
Talk to me about Oscar Isaac's accent in Moon Knight, because I had that 8-second clip on repeat for a while because it's so good. You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
If you guys want to check in on my health, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us.
Also, if you want to find Gabby on Twitter and check on her, you can find her at Moon Knight's Mistress on Twitter. All one word.
Tune in next week where we'll be doing an episode about, I don't know yet. We have no clue.
Maybe King Richard?
Who knows?
Maybe black people in tennis? Maybe some ghosts? We'll see. Colin, why are you head tilting at me like that?
If you do that episode, I'm going to need you to do the entire thing in a Teddy Perkins voice.
Serena Williams' father? All right. It's been different. Bye. So, Colin, about that Zootopia abortion?
Hold on.